On the vlog again. Just can't wait to do a vlog again. The life I love is making vlogs for my friends, and I can't wait to do a vlog again. Doing a vlog again. Going places that I've never been. Seeing things that I may never see again. And I can't wait to do a vlog again. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Top Vloggers. As always, I am High and Mighty Joe. Today we have a very special vlog for you. And I am wearing an appropriate t-shirt. I'm not sure if you can tell, but I am wearing my Paul Heyman t-shirt. It should be a fun and exciting time. I am headed off to see Nathan, and he's going to come over. He's going to pick me up. We are going to take his car, go back to his house, check out his studio. It should be a fun and exciting time. We're also going to review Wrestlemania Night 1 and Night 2. It should be a fun and exciting time. I'm asking you to come along with me. So let's get going.
And I'll just edit all this out kind of thing. But now it's recording. Did you want this in frame or you want to put it like off to the side?
Oh, you put it off to the side. That's fine.
Alright. I know you didn't write down like little descriptions and stuff like that, but did you like at least give yourself like predictions at all, or are you just going off of what I wrote down and you'll say what you think for that match?
I'll put in some predictions.
Yeah, because I don't even think I have them in the order that they're going to happen that night. I just kind of wrote them down. So let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready whenever you are, man.
All right. Hey guys, my name is Scooby. Welcome to the first ever video of my new channel, Whoop Whoop Wrestling. Show me some love. Go down, like, subscribe in the comments. I'm here with my best friend, the High and Mighty Joe Yun.
Hello, everyone.
And he has a channel of his own as well, the Top Vloggers. I'll leave it in the description, and you guys need to go show him some love as well for me, okay? We are here, and we are going to give you our WrestleMania predictions. We will be there. WrestleMania 41. It's here in Las Vegas. It's a lifelong dream of ours, once in a lifetime opportunity. We can't wait. It's less than 5 days away, and we are shaking in our boots for it. So, let's start with night one.
Night one.
I'm going to go with what I will think is going to be the match of the night as the first thing we're going to talk about. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. All right. What do you think is going to happen in this match?
Well, from everything that I see, I'm pretty sure that El Grande Americano will finally get his comeuppings, from what they say. I believe that Rey will probably get the victory, but we will see some shenanigans afterwards with a Gracias at the end.
That sends me every time he does that.
So I'm pretty sure that that's how that's going to work. But we will definitely see. It's going to be interesting either way.
Okay, so I personally think El Grande is going to actually take it because I feel like this is going to lead into a more match series. Like it's going to keep going as a little feud. And it might potentially end in a mask versus mask match to reveal the identity of El Grande Americano, who we all know is obviously not Chad Gable, and I really wish people would stop saying it was. That's really interesting, though, that you think Rey's going to take it. Why do you think Rey's going to take it?
Well, I think Rey's going to take it because it seems like Rey has been getting the short end of the stick. It seems like the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
And
maybe past couple of months, honestly.
Yeah,
it feels like he's kind of been buried.
And the next thing you would do in a true storyline is you would have him eventually get his, the heel get his comeuppance, and
oh yeah, we should also mention my friend Joe here is an ex-wrestler, so he might throw around some baseball terms of the industry, and you'll hear the way he's talking, so just so you know that He is also an ex-wrestler.
So I think that's probably what's going to happen. But to continue it on, like you said, which is a very good idea, that would also go in with what I said afterwards. There's some afterbirth, and you see El Grande Americano, hit him with the thing in the head, with the thing in the
metal
mask,
plate in the mask.
and so yeah, I think that's how that goes. But I think Ray gets the win, and yeah, I think Ray gets the win.
I'm just curious if Ray gets the win, how they continue that as a match series, like as a feud. I don't see El Grande doesn't seem to be the one that has the problem with Ray. Ray has the problem with him.
Well, like I said, I think it'll all come to halt because of the afterwards.
Let Papa H cook, right? As everyone says.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm supposed to let him cook, but somehow James Ellsworth isn't on WrestleMania for the 7th year in a row. Okay. All right, the next match: Jade Cargill versus Naomi, a total blood feud. What are your opinions on this one?
I think this is all. I think this is going to be like 90-10. I think this is a 90-10 match for everybody. I don't think anybody, well, for the most part, like is expecting Naomi to win anything, or I don't even expect her to get a whole lot of offense either. There is two ways this could go. This could go with a complete Jade domination, which is a very good possibility, or it could go in with a very quick and decisive, match. Come in, big boot, boom, big finish, real quick, 1, 2, 3. Match lasts is all of 3 minutes, or whatever. Like it could.
So you think if there's going to be a squash match at Mania, it's going to be the Jade and Naomi?
Right. It could either be short, or it'll be a complete domination by Jade. I think for the most part, I don't think Naomi's. I think Naomi's going to do a whole lot of begging off. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do this. Maybe to sink Jade in. Okay, I feel maybe just a little bit for her. Come in, poke you in the eye. Get a little heat. But she's going to cut her off real quick, and once she cuts her off, I think that's pretty much it. So.
I think Naomi's going to take it, and I wrote just because you don't want to waste a heel turn. The whole point of a heel turn is that they're doing like anything that's necessary to get their wins now. Like, they don't care. They've turned evil. They're going to do whatever they fucking want to get what they want. And I just feel like if you immediately have that happen, only for them to lose, or at least like if she loses in a different kind of way, but if she loses clean, that's just, it doesn't make sense to me. It feels like you wasted that heel turn and you pretty much just buried her right away and they have nowhere to go anymore.
On the other hand, to combat that, she also did get a bunch of wins with the tag team, with the titles. She had that little
as a
run.
face, though.
Yes, but now we know it was all healed anyway. You see what I'm saying? We all know that she had already attacked Jade. So she was already healed by that time anyway. We just didn't, in the story, we didn't know it was her. So therefore, all of that, in the fans' eyes, is kind of like, hey, you've kind of already screwed us. You know what I mean? Like when we thought we were cheering for you, thought you were really here to help Bianca, and you wasn't here to really help Bianca. You were here to help Naomi, and you hurt Jade in the process. Which we love Jade, so as the fans, I think so. I think they've kind of done it in. I think you squash this. Now there's another possibility. There's a possibility that by then the Bianca and Belair match has already taken place.
Well, Bianca, Rhea, and Io is scheduled for night 2.
Okay, that's scheduled for night 2. So now that makes it a little harder to do this. Then again. It could put a whole different twist on that triple threat match if this does happen too. What if Bianca Belair comes down, gets involved in this match, and actually starts beating up on Jade too? Therefore, your Naomi gets the win. Okay. That's how you get your satisfaction.
Well, it's not that I want Naomi to win. It's just like I feel like you just shouldn't waste a heel turn.
Right. Well, Bianca gets her comeuppance. Maybe the next night. You know what I mean? With Rhea and Io, we don't know. But I mean, that's a whole nother thing that they could just twist into. At this aspect of things, like you're at that proverbial fork in the road, but you just don't have two sports. You have several sports that you can go with, so you have different ways that you can do this, and it'll be nice to see what Paul's going to do.
Yeah, I like to call this the never say never era with Triple H because you never thought you'd see Punk in WWE again. We got Punk. You never thought you'd see Cena ever turn heel. We got Cena as heel. And there's many other examples as well of just things that would never happen in a million years, and we never thought would be the finish of say a so-and-so match, and it ends up happening. So I like to call it the never say never era, with Triple H. So yeah, you really never know, and when there's that many options, you don't know what he's gonna do.
Right.
Plus, he might even pull a whole nother option and have one coming off the side of the fork. You don't know.
Right. You never know. You never know.
All right, and next we have this is the main event, but I wrote it down here. Actually, it might not be the main event. That's right. Jey Uso versus Gunther for the heavyweight title.
Yeah, it will not be he may be main event Jey Uso, but he will not be in the main event, even though he won the Royal Rumble, and the Royal Rumble says that you are going to be in the main event of WrestleMania.
No Royal Rumble winner is in the main event of WrestleMania.
Right. I think eventually they're gonna have to change that.
That's what I'm saying. I think they're working toward it, just meaning that you have a guaranteed title shot at Mania, not main event at Mania. Because otherwise, neither Rumble winner is in the main event this year.
Right.
So, all right, who do you think's gonna take this match?
Well, you and I have already kind of talked about this, off camera before. I told you how things are going.
Yeah, I know you're not the biggest fan of Jey Uso in general.
I am not the biggest fan of Jey Uso. I think he does a lot of hot dogging out there. It's watching Jey Uso is like watching Jimmy Uso.
Yeah.
They worked great as a tag team.
Phenomenal tag team.
Because they work so well together that they are almost the same person.
I would argue they're Hall of Fame worthy for the tag team work they've done.
And me personally, I love the Yeet movement. I love all of this. I think it's all great for the fans. I will go ahead and tell Jey Uso yeet too if I ever see him. Yeet. Okay? On the other hand, I am a huge Gunther fan. I think he is one of the greatest wrestlers that I have seen in the last decade come through the pike. He is a great wrestler. He is just phenomenal, and I do think that with everything going on, that they will take the belt off of him and probably put it on Jey Uso. Even though I think it's a mistake, I wouldn't do it if I was the booker. That's not how I would book this. But the way that they have led up the storyline, it definitely tells me that most likely that Jey Uso will finally get, Gunther has destroyed Jimmy Uso right there in front of Jey.
Yeah, covered in his blood.
Everything
that was a brutal
else.
Angle.
And Gunther has to get his comeuppance. He has got to get his, I keep using that word. That means he has got to get, his due. Yeah, he's got to get his due. He's got to get his receipts.
Yeah.
As they say, he's going to get a receipt for this. And I'm telling you, the receipt comes at WrestleMania with Jey Uso becoming your new World Heavyweight Champion.
And it leads back to what you told me as well too. Like a babyface never says and like declares he's going to do something and doesn't do it. And once Jey said, I'm leaving with that heavyweight title, kind of pretty much set it in stone that that's what's going to happen. But I still wrote down here that I want Gunther to take it because I feel that Jey is going to be revealed as the third man and turn heel. There's been signs for it, and I don't think anyone has paid attention. Him entering with Travis was smoking weed around the kids. You know what I mean? He didn't care about that, it seemed. He just entered with them anyway. And Travis, every time he's around, it seems like whoever he's around is definitely a part of that company faction, and just seems like one of the elites, and it's definitely like they're going towards something with that. We also haven't heard anything from The Rock in forever, so you never know, that could end up happening. I feel like Jay, also he was the only other one that was in the ring during that initial segment when The Rock threw up the three fingers, and I just feel like that means there's three men. It's gonna be Cena, Roman, and I also feel like it's Jay. And I also feel like when Jay loses this, that's another reason for him to just fully snap, and it's gonna lead to another match where The Rock helps him get that title.
Now, you have mentioned this three-finger thing about 1,000 times. And we have talked about this off camera.
Bad blood.
Multiple times.
And we were at that watch party for blood.
I have actually went back and watched that footage since you and I had talked about this, because I got to thinking and I was like, maybe I'm missing something.
And then at Elimination Chamber, he only throws up the two. And if you notice, Roman and Cena are the only two in the ring at that point.
Here's my thought. When he threw up the three,
and he turned it around,
he also did the little John Cena symbol, and I think that was a clue that it was just for John Cena. I think the whole three thing was just about John Cena. I don't think that there's three people. I think I think you're reading more into that than what it needed to be. I think the three and the symbol together was John Cena. I think that's what he was doing. I went back and rewatched it. I'm almost positive.
Yeah, because I also put after he's revealed as the third man, he would enter with The Rock and Travis and Roman during Cena's match, and everything. All right, that's definitely, see, we're different on that. We'll definitely have to see. This is gonna be an interesting Mania, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, next I have.
There are gonna be some. We'll put it this way: there are gonna be some disappointed people in Allegiant Stadium on Saturday and on Sunday, depending on how certain things go. I guarantee it, because there are fans of both of a lot of people on both sides of these of these issues.
Yeah.
It's I tell people all the time, and people don't want to hear it, because a lot of people are like, oh well, we shouldn't talk about politics and religion and things like that. That is what WWE is. This is a political business. It is based just like politics. You know what I mean? And you basically have these two sides.
Real world events.
And yes, and you have these two sides, and you're like, well, am I on this side or am I on this side? Whose side am I on? And through the storyline, sometimes you might be, hey, oh man, I was really with this person, but now, man, this person really did something that I like or didn't like or whatever, and now it changes everything. So I think there are going to be a lot of disappointed people at Allegiant Stadium, just depending on what happens for what matches.
All right. And the next, we have the Raw Tag Team titles. Viking Raiders versus the New Day.
I don't have a lot to say about this match, so I guess I'll go ahead and go first. But I'm going to just let you know right now, I assume if they are going to really push this New Day heel team, I assume that the New Day heel team will take it. I would prefer that they take it. I am a fan of this New Day heel team. I thought the New Day was getting stale. I thought it was getting very stale, just like the Bootios. I thought the Bootios were getting stale in the box. So yeah, I think what they did with E, I was watching that with my son, who is a huge big E fan, and it made him very angry, to the point where he told me, he's like, I want to punch both of them right in their mouths, Dad. And I was like, yeah. Yeah, you do. I was like, because you're a Big E fan. I was like, but Big E deserved everything that they said to him, because that's exactly how this would turn to make the New Day a big heel team. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's exactly what they did. I think it's going to work. And I think when they walk out of Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, I think they walk out as the new Raw Tag Team Champions.
I feel like they've kind of squandered that heel turn. That was a great segment with Big E, and it was in December, and I feel like we haven't really done much with them since. But I wrote that the Viking Raiders are going to take it because the New Day will lose based on some kind of crazy interference from one superstar or the whole locker room. fingers crossed that it will somehow be Big E to cause the loss. And maybe he's not fully cleared to compete, but he's enough to do like a little throwing around and like interfere with their match, and definitely like, you know, he wants to ruin their WrestleMania moment. He's got to get back at them in one way or another. And I feel like that would definitely build a great angle. And maybe it builds to a potential return where he actually can compete at WrestleMania, and they've really been keeping it under wraps. I don't know, but I mean, I'm kind of fantasy booking that that's the way that's going to go. And I wrote possibly the whole locker room, because obviously they always mention in every promo that not only do they have beef with like whoever they're talking about at that moment, but then they say the whole locker room is hating them, the whole locker room. And then they even had Ray come out as like the locker room leader and like tell them that they couldn't come in the locker room. And as far as we know, they're still changing in the regular bathrooms outside of it. And I don't know. I feel like that would be a really cool segment too, kind of like a lumberjack match. The whole roster having like a moment to come down the ramp and just be like, fuck you guys, you know, or something. It could just be interesting. I don't know. Plus, we don't have a lot of stipulations on this card, so even if they turned it into a lumberjack match, that would be fucking awesome. You know, I'll wait for the whole locker room to kind of get back at them for like the way they've been presenting that.
Yeah, it could happen.
All right.
So what's next on the card?
The U.S. title, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu.
I am a huge fan of both of these guys.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of LA Knight. I think that
LA Knight. Yeah.
I think that what they have done with his rise is squandered.
He's beyond over though.
But he is beyond over. I don't think it will hurt him at all to go ahead and drop this title to Jacob Fatu. I think Jacob Fatu will win this, probably with some interference.
Okay, yeah, Solo.
I mean, it could be Solo.
I know you, Solo.
It could be one of the other, the Tongans. It could,
Tongaloa's back, guys.
Could be. As far as I'm concerned, he could stay gone for another couple of months. But yeah, my whole thing is I think Jacob Fatu wins it.
I only have one reason that I think that won't happen, but I have him as the winner because I want him to take it as well. I completely agree. I want to see also if he takes it, immediately cause like a rift between the bloodline, because that's already been being presented as well. Right. But my whole thing is similar to how you said like a babyface never like there's certain rules. You know what I mean? Like a babyface shouldn't declare something and then not do it. In my opinion, the challenger should never touch the fucking belt until that match. If they do, it's almost immediately a curse that they're not winning it. And I don't know if you watched this last SmackDown. I believe you said you didn't. Jacob picked up the belt twice and raised it above his head once and everything. And that kind of sealed it in my head. I was like, fuck, but he picked up the belt.
Well,
plus the never say never era though, that could not mean shit now. That could be a McMahon
on the whole thing though. And here's something that you mentioned earlier. They are having a dispute inside the bloodline right now. They are having a dispute inside the bloodline. So here's what goes down.
Okay.
Solo comes down. You think he's gonna help Jacob Fatu? He costs Jacob Fatu. LA Knight still your current U.S. champ, and then that sets up for Solo and Jacob down the line, maybe at SummerSlam or Money in the Bank or
Backlash
or a future show down the line.
I think the next one we have is Backlash.
So it could be Backlash.
Yeah, it could be Backlash. Alright, yeah, so that's stuff. I mean, I want Jacob to take it, but like I said, him picking up that belt just kind of worried me. Because normally that is a telltale sign that he's not. But like I said, that could just be a McMahon thing. You know what I mean? Like, Triple H has definitely pushed the boundaries on, like, hey, that doesn't mean that anymore. It could still happen.
Right.
So, I'm open to it. I really hope Jacob takes it. But him picking up the belt does worry me. Alright, next on the card, we have the SmackDown Women's title. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair.
Well, first off, I guess
that deep breath didn't give me much hope.
we could talk about that promo that they had the other night on SmackDown.
What promo? We'll talk about that. That never happened.
Yeah. Woo! That's all I got to say about that.
Hey, guys, we can edit that out, right?
Yeah.
We can edit that out? Okay, cool.
Yeah. That's all I got to say about that is woo! Boy. I tell you what,
Ludwig Kaiser, the first ever man to be accused of cheating that not a single soul believed he did.
Right.
Tell Tiger Woods to take notes.
My whole thing is, and I'm going to go ahead and say this.
Okay.
I do not believe that this match is even WrestleMania worthy. I don't believe the build-up.
A lot of people are saying that about
I don't believe the build-up has been WrestleMania worthy. I don't believe the whole damn thing. And frankly, to be honest with you, when it comes time for this match, if it would be okay with everyone else, I would be more than willing to just go take a bathroom break. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I really would. Now, who is going to win this match? Well, if I had to pick one, I guess I would, put my money on the veteran. And say that they'll probably go ahead and give it to Charlotte Flair.
I'm hoping that they're not going to push her anymore.
But if I had a choice of what I would do, I would definitely keep it on Tiffany Stratton because I think she's up and coming, and I would like to see more about her.
Tiffy time. Sorry, I misspoke there. Said it's Stiffy time by accident. I didn't misspeak. No, but I hope they will. I hope they will finally bury Charlotte and let her go. You know what I mean? Because just like, I know that they want to just shove stuff down your throat until you finally take it and accept it. Like they've done that with a lot of people. Like even Roman Reigns, and it eventually did work with him. He found a gimmick and it took off. But I don't want to see that happen with Charlotte. I don't think it ever is. She doesn't only have heat with the fans; she has heat backstage. It doesn't just seem like anybody likes her and anyone likes what they do with her. I mean, even at Rumble, like once she was the only one that entered with pyro, and she had just came back and we all knew she was gonna take it, and it was bullshit right away. And I was hoping that I'm hoping that they will finally give it to Tiffy, or finally let Charlotte just be like go and let her at least do what she's supposed to do with a send off toward the end of her career. Just at least let her push and help new talent get over. And finally bury herself because it's done. Like, we don't care. You're not the female version of Rick. That's all you have is his last name, and I'm tired of it. I don't even think she's good in the ring. Her finisher, like it happens like 2 inches from the ground. That's supposed to be massive impact. The natural selection, like everything about it, like it just. Plus her variation of the figure 4 leg lock. I just arch a little bit. It's like yeah, that makes it worse. Like. I think everything about her just sucks. Like, I'm not a fan of Charlotte at all. I don't know if you can tell I'm bitter as hell about her. I don't like her.
I can't tell
also,
at all.
she built like an ironing board, bro.
I cannot tell at all that you're bitter about
Also,
about
she's built like an ironing board. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand why we've tried to push her.
She has some great abs.
Why have we tried
I'll give her that.
Why have we tried to push her beyond the moon for no reason? I can't see anything that gives her a reason to be being pushed like that. I don't even think she's that good on the mic. She's had several awkward promos. Like you were talking about the one with Tiffy recently. What about the one with Becky where they had to hand over titles? Yeah. That was the most awkward thing I've ever watched on television in my life.
It was not good. Yeah. That was not good, and neither was this. So
like we should grab the red flannels like Anthony Fantano, so everyone knows that we're gonna give it a not good. But all right, the next match on the card. The main event of Night 1. We're finally here. Done talking about Night 1. Depending on how long this has ran, I might split this into 2 videos. The main event. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns versus CM Punk.
I have a lot to say, so I'm going to let you go ahead and tell your piece about this.
Okay, I'll go.
And then I'll finish off with how the night is really going to end.
Okay.
So.
the how it's really gonna.
Yeah,
this man's confident over here. All right. You don't know that I've been right about several things recently. WWE been listening to me. I love double E. That's a Vladimir Kozlov reference for the ones who know. All right. I wrote 2 weeks ago. I would have said Punk. And that the Rollins theory being thrown around sounded very interesting. But after these last 2 Raws, the possibility for a Paul turn to walk out with a heel Seth seems very high. Seth's character could use it, for one. And a lot of Paul's expressions during the Go Home Raw, this very last Raw, really seemed suspect to me. And I don't know if he's siding. It just seems like we are going to get a heel Rollins. Plus, like, the callback to that chair turn, it seems like they're bringing this full circle, like a real full story of him being the savior this whole time. And I don't know, he's a great heel as well. Like, I love Rollins as a heel. And I feel like his character could use that. He's been face for a while now. And, I don't know, I just feel like, plus, like, Paul Heyman has been with him before. People forget that. But he did side with him once, like, I think it was a few years ago, during that Hell in a Cell match afterward, or Steel Cage, whatever it was. I remember them sharing a look, and Paul, like, handing him the belt or whatever after the match. So I definitely feel like Seth Rollins could be revealed as a Paul Heyman guy and walk out as a heel. And I also just, like I said, like 2 weeks ago, I would have said like the whole like Paul turning on either of them, but let alone walking out with Seth, seemed very interesting, and it was definitely intriguing to hear all the theories on it. But I just didn't see anything in the storyline yet that lent itself to going that direction. But now, after these last 2 Raws, I could see it. I could see it happening. Your stoicness during my whole explanation right now has me really scared on what you're going to say is actually going to happen. So, Joe, Mr. High and Mighty, for the main event, take the floor.
All right. First off, it will...
Well, before you say your theory, what do you think about what I said?
I think it is nice. I think it makes some sense. I don't think they're going that direction.
Okay.
I think they're giving you all of these little Easter eggs, little tiny bits to get you to believe that they're going to head one way when they are heading another way. Now, I could be completely wrong, and you could be completely right. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's the whole thing with the never say never
that's how
era.
this works. But I believe it all goes back to the pipe bomb, which was years and years ago.
Legendary moment.
And
I remember watching that live.
CM Punk said some very, very interesting things that night.
Okay.
And when you go back and you watch it, which, by the way, also was right here in the great city of Las Vegas.
The pipe bomb happened here. I forgot that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
because it was
it
right
did.
after No Way Out, right?
It happened at the little circular place that they have
Thomas
over
and
there.
Mack?
Yeah, Thomas and Mack Center. Yeah. We've done a vlog on that on my channel. If you would like to go ahead and check that vlog out, go over to my vlog channel.
Yeah,
the top vloggers, and
I'll have his channel in the description.
we have
we'll link to that video specifically as well for you.
we have that video as well. So, yeah, I believe it all goes back to that night. Punk said some very, very, very harsh things, and
it's been a while since I've watched it. So what points specifically are you?
well, basically, he said some very harsh things about a man who is in the main event the next night, and I'm talking about John Cena. Ooh. He said some very harsh things about John Cena that night, and I believe that if you go back to the Elimination Chamber, which was not too long ago,
yeah,
Seth Rollins was the one who cost CM Punk the Elimination Chamber match itself.
Yeah, and that finish was botched
But
because he actually went to sleep. He really did stop
the
his
next
ass.
night on Raw,
Mm-hmm.
when Punk came out, the first thing he said was, "I have 2 things I want to talk about. One is The Rock, the other is John Cena." And he said a lot about each one of them that night. He called a bunch of them. He called them out. He basically told them exactly how he felt. I think what they're doing, I think they build this up. I think they build it up. I think Paul walks out with CM Punk as the winner.
Okay.
And I think this leads into a bigger feud between John Cena and CM Punk down the line for the world title. The way it was the last time when CM Punk and John Cena went for the world title. You remember CM Punk won the world title and he got to take it away, and he walked away with the world title, and he was gone for a while.
Yeah. Kind of like what Cena's threatening to do now.
Right. And now Cena, I think Cena is basically, they're going to try to do the exact same thing with John Cena, except I think CM Punk is the one who stops John Cena right before he finally gets to walk away into the sunset. And then I think, of course, obviously John Cena will probably turn back to babyface, say his goodbyes, his I love yous, God bless yous, and out the door he'll go. So
you think Punk's gonna take it?
Yeah.
See, that's who I originally thought was gonna take it, and then they started throwing this Seth shit in the air, and I don't know now, but I definitely know for a fact, 100%, Roman's not. Roman's whole story is betrayal, and he's like being like turned on. Paul's not with him. Like, his whole thing right now is he has no confidence in himself. He's like a baby who needs to look to Paul for permission every time, or like look for a reassurance in his thoughts every time. Like, if you notice, he always glances at Paul after he says anything. He's always like, that's why like he had to look over at Paul and realize he was like crying about that whole thing. He didn't even know. You know, he was just so confident and arrogant in himself. Then he looked over and was like, oh shit, Paul's wrong. Hold on, what's going on? Like, you know, and then immediately made him second guess everything. He's like a toddler, you know. That's like his whole character and his whole gimmick, and I just feel like he's losing. Like, there's just no way around that. I feel Roman, there's no reason for him to win it, and I feel like he also probably wants to go away for a little while too, you know, with his health issues and everything. So I definitely see Roman not winning. So my thoughts right now are between Punk and Seth. I can't really fully decide on who I think is going to take that, honestly. Because like you said, they could all be red herrings that they've been throwing with Seth, and they mean absolutely nothing, and they only started doing them because people threw out those Seth theories. You know, and just to kind of give credence to them, so people would lean more into them, and then immediately when they went the other way. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I'm between Punk and Seth, and I think probably 50-50. I can't choose, but I definitely know Roman's not taking it.
Well, you guys can't see it, but Paul Heyman is on my shirt. I'm a Paul Heyman guy,
Absolutely.
and I believe that Paul will walk out with the first and original Paul Heyman guy, and that is the one true deal, the one Bill Phil. And they call and you know why they call him One Bill Phil?
Why?
Because he ain't no counterfeit buck.
And with that, I think we're going to call this video quits because I know we probably went long on our night one predictions. We'll do a part 2 for night 2. So if you've made it this far through, there's only one thing I want you to do. I want you to go down to the comments and leave me a whoop whoop. Like the video if you enjoyed it. And see you next time. Love you guys, family. Thank you for joining us.
Take care.
All right, night 2 time. All right, guys. Welcome to the second video on the Whoop Whoop Wrestling channel, our night 2 of WrestleMania 41 predictions. I am once again here with my high and mighty best friend, Joe Yun. He is an ex-wrestler, for anyone who didn't watch the first video. He's honestly my best friend, and we will both be going to WrestleMania 41 together. Lifelong dream of ours. We can't wait. It's only 5 days away. And it will be here in Las Vegas, where we both live, and we're just excited. So, let's put our fantasy booking hats on for WrestleMania for night 2. All right, first match: Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. Who do you got?
Well, you know, I really don't care about this match, and I'm not sure how many people really do care about this match. It seems like it's kind of been semi-thrown together.
Yeah.
The build has been lackluster. It's a Sin City street fight, so we only going to see, you know, part of it anyway, like, because they're going to go backstage, and then it'll all be monitors and everything anyway. I'm not that excited about it.
Well, hopefully more of it'll be just going into the crowd and not as much, because I haven't seen a lot of matches where they go backstage and out into like the whole, like when they used to go into the Gulf of Mexico and all that stuff. I haven't seen a lot of that in a good few years.
Well, I think
a lot of matches now they go into the crowd.
Yeah,
and they stay in the arena.
Well, my whole thing is with them going in the crowd, there's less for them to do, and it's even more boring because then they're in the crowd, a sea full of people. You can't really see anything that's going on anyway. I don't know. I'm not excited about the match. I got Drew McIntyre though.
I have Drew McIntyre as well. I love him as a heel. Absolutely love. I love everything they're doing with him right now. Like this last year, 2024 was great with him. That feud with Punk was amazing, all the way to the culmination at Bad Blood. Although I do think he should have took that match, especially just the way that match went. I saw him taking it, and it just threw me for a loop when Punk won. But I put Drew as a heel, and when he is seething with hatred, always makes for a great match. I loved his feud with Punk, like I just said, and I think with this being a street fight, that it brings that. I hope with this being a street fight that it brings the same energy as that Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood. Then it would be perfectly okay to have Drew walk away victorious, and no one would think any less of Priest, because they're doing great with Priest right now too, and I don't want him to be buried. And I feel like if they go through like an all-out war like that, like the way Bad Blood was, it doesn't bury, like just like how the match with Punk didn't bury Drew at all. You know what I mean? He went through a great fight. You know what I mean? I feel like he would do the same thing with Priest. Even if he lost, it wouldn't bury him at all. It wouldn't do anything to his character. It would still show him like being a warrior. And plus, there's a lot of finishes you could do too where he doesn't get beat clean. I don't know. I feel like Drew's gonna take it. I love him as a heel, and I want to see like if they're gonna do a crazy match with as much intensity as that Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood, that Drew actually takes it, as opposed to how Punk did at Bad Blood.
I don't normally have rebuttals, especially since it's a match that I could literally care less about. On the other hand,
but I've just made you care.
You have said something that I completely disagree with, and I'm going to go ahead and throw this out. I don't think they have done a good job with Damian Priest. I think they've done a terrible fucking job with him. Pardon my language. But yeah, I don't think they've done.
Well, they've done a terrible job with him. I'll agree with that. But as far as the fans, they still view him as good, and he's still over.
Yeah. Maybe over with some people. He's not over with me. He's not over with me. Well, let's put it that way. I don't know. I haven't cared for the character for a while. Like I don't know.
See the next one.
When he left the Judgment Day, right before right before he left the Judgment Day, I thought he was starting to get stale.
Hey, shout out to Adam Pearce, who was so enthralled with Io's ass cheeks being out that he was so flustered and thrown off his game that he announced Rhea as being from the Judgment Day. I feel you, Keen. I would have did the same thing. I would have been like, that man, Rhea from the Judgment Day. Damn, the yams. The yams are yamming. Alright, but similar to how you feel about this match is how I feel about the next one I have listed. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Why is this a match? Like I would love to see someone finally put down Logan's ass, plain and simple. And I've loved AJ since TNA as a kid, so who better? I just want AJ to take it. I'm excited to see Logan finally be squashed if that happens. Like if I think if any match should be a squash match, it should be this one. I finally want to see Logan get fucking put down. Fuck that guy. And I hate people who go, oh, but he's great in the ring. I don't care how he was in the ring. Just like how I don't care about how Chris Benoit was in the ring. At the end of the day, if you're a horrible human being, you're a horrible human being. And I just think I don't like Logan Paul at all. He's still doing scams, and he's canceled on the internet, and then WWE has him come out that night as if he's not doing that on the side. Like, I don't know. Everything about the dude, I hate him. I'm tired of him being pushed. It's like, yeah, he's great in the ring. Whatever. Fuck that. He's a horrible person. I want to see him buried. I want to see him get his ass rocked. And I've loved AJ since I was a kid. So who better to do it? I don't know. I just think if there's any match that I'm going to have a bathroom break for, it's that one. Because I don't even see any moment or any crazy thing happening out of it. Like, nobody coming back to protect anybody. Like, nothing. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson are still signed with AEW or Ring of Honor, wherever they are right now. And, there's no possibility for anything else to happen in this match other than the match. and I don't care for it. I mean, other than
I don't believe Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson are signed anywhere. I believe they are actually both free agents at this point in time, as far as I'm concerned.
oh really?
I believe I know that they are not currently signed with the WWE. I do know.
Okay,
that.
so that could happen, but still.
On the other hand, I completely disagree with your assessment of this match. I believe this is actually going to be probably one of the better matches on the daggum card.
Yeah, I have heard many people say that.
And between AJ Styles, who is absolutely phenomenal, and that's not just a gimmick. He really is a phenomenal athlete.
I miss the Pele.
All the way back. I know you do. All the way back from his TNA days, all the way up till now, AJ Styles is still a phenomenal athlete. And as much as a terrible human being Logan Paul might be, and yes, you guys who watch my vlogs, you guys do know that I do a lot of the Prime vlogs, and things like that, and that we do promote Logan Paul's Prime a lot on my channel. I am also a fan of his wrestling. I think I think he really is a great wrestler.
I get that.
He's not only a great wrestler, he is a great heel. And he is a great heel because he is a terrible human being, and that kind of works in his heel favor. I think that this is going to be a great match because they are both great wrestlers, and so I do not think it's a bathroom break. I think it is probably one of the better matches on the card, and I think if you take a bathroom break during this one, that you'll be very disappointed.
I don't know. I mean,
now that's my opinion, and we can move on.
I get that he's great in the ring.
I know we have a lot to discuss. We can move on. I
get where you're coming from. Here's my whole thing, though. I think it comes from a place in my heart where I resent a lot of people that just I feel like they get handed things. Like, for example, like, I make music, right, on the side, right? I work my ass off to fucking promote myself, try to get any kind of success. But then some chick gets a mic and goes, people, shut the fuck up. Animals, shut the fuck up. And that's the biggest thing in the fucking world. No effort, nothing at all, just blows up. Ice Spice gets a fucking mic because she shakes her ass and raps about poop. But people that are putting hard work and long nights and all that shit, like, I want to see them succeed because they're the ones putting the work in. I'm tired of people, and I feel like Logan Paul got that with wrestling.
Yeah, well, I completely agree.
He never had to do any of the indies. He never had to really train or learn. He was just pretty much immediately in WWE because he was a YouTuber. Every other YouTuber's been a one-off moment, and then it's like, oh yeah, they're even Bad Bunny. Yeah, you were pretty good in the ring, cool, and then that was it. You know what I mean? You don't immediately make them a main event superstar. Like, I just feel like I feel like that's where that comes from for me. A big resentment and like, yeah, he's great in the ring. Like, yeah, but he did nothing to get there. Like, I feel like it was handed to him.
Well, we'll put
at least with Shane McMahon.
As someone who, and I'll end this. We'll just end this here. As someone who was a professional wrestler for 17 years, and is retired now, and I look at Logan Paul, and I think if I had just a tenth of what Logan Paul had, that my career would have been from here to here. Just a tenth of what he had. And I wasn't a bad wrestler. You know what I mean? But sometimes it just takes more than just being a great wrestler.
Yeah.
Now I'll tell you this much.
Yeah, he's great on the mic.
At the end of the day, YouTuber. I'd like to later down the line, I'd like to see a face turn. I'd like to see how he does as a baby face.
The public hates him as a person, though. It's going to be hard for him to turn face.
Right, and I don't think he'll ever be able to do it. And that doesn't make him the best wrestler in the world, because the best wrestler in the world is somebody who could do that, who can make you hate them and can make you love them. And I don't think he has that in him, but like I said, I do think he's a damn good wrestler. I think AJ Styles is a phenomenal wrestler, and I think it's going to be a great match, regardless whether you want to take a bathroom break in it or not.
So
I wouldn't.
Who
take
do you
a
have
bathroom
taking
break.
it though?
You know what? I'm not sure I ever even said this, but
that's what I'm saying.
I do believe that Logan Paul will go over, because I think you want to push Logan Paul as this this main event cocky heel. You know, he goes out there. So I think that's what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Even with how much we both love AJ and he's a phenomenal wrestler, you don't think he deserves that one last great WrestleMania moment? I mean, we only have another like year and a half, 2 years.
I'm not saying
he
that
went on record announcing that he's done at 50 and he wants to be held to it. He doesn't want to wrestle a day over 50.
I'm not saying that we can't, and I'm not saying that we don't. I'm saying I don't see it happen.
Okay. All right. Next is another match that I personally definitely feel I'm going to take a bathroom break for. I don't care for it at all. The women's tag team title match with Bayley and Lyra versus Liv Morgan and Raquel.
I have the champions retaining their titles.
Same.
I think that's how that works. I don't think that they're going to give it to the Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyrie or whatever it is, and Bayley.
Plus, it gives another reason for it because they're kind of looking like they want to have Bayley kind of turn and snap.
Right, and I think that might happen. Maybe afterwards.
They're not going to work well together.
Yeah, something happens. Maybe they hit each other or something during the match, which costs them the match, and then there's a big blow up or something. I'm not exactly sure, but like I said, I'm not very interested like you in it as well. This is the match I would take the bathroom break on. And but I have Liv and Raquel going over.
All right. Next, we have the IC title, the Fatal 4-Way of Braun Breaker versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor versus Penta. I have Dirty Dom taking it. I really think he's been pushing himself as a face. It seems like he's been kind of doing things. Like, I think he's going to take it. And not only do I think he's going to take it, but this is a great opportunity, being a Fatal 4-Way, for the belt to be taken off of Braun without Braun having to be pinned. He doesn't have to be buried or taken at all. He could be completely on the other side of the ring dealing with somebody else when it happens. You know what I mean? Like, so that's a great way to protect his character. But then, I just see, I think Finn is going to take the pin. I think he has to. It's the only thing that makes sense in this match. And I think if he takes the pin from Dirty Dom, it's a great fucking way to build that feud that we've been teasing, like similar to with them definitely having a rift. And I feel like if Finn snaps on that and everything, it also gives another great reason for Liv and Raquel to come back with their titles as well in the previous match, and all that gold to be at the whatever. Also, I wrote this because this is just fantasy booking here. But if that causes the whole breakup and the whole feud of them, it gives the opportunity for Finn being on his own to turn face again. And if Finn is a face again, that means that the Demon can return. And the Demon at WrestleMania, or not WrestleMania, SummerSlam facing Penta or something, it's like a dream match. That's insane. That would feed families for generations. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself with the fantasy book in there, but I don't know. I think Dirty Dom's going to take it. It just kind of seems, and I've seen a lot of other people sharing that perspective as well. Who do you think's going to take it?
I really don't have an aspect of this match. I have been watching the build up, and I am probably the only person in the world, I guess, that is not that excited with what they've done with Penta. Like I thought that debut was really nice with
he's been having
Chad
some botches
Gable.
though too.
And
he botched at the Rumble with the feet hitting the floor, and he just had a botch this on the Go Home Raw.
Yeah, I me personally, I think if they give it to anybody, you're probably right. They give it to Dirty Dom. Finn does take the pin to keep it clean and
Protect Braun.
Yeah, protect Braun.
That spear he gave Carlito, dude.
On the other hand, if it does,
we were watching Raw together, and we had to rewind that spear he gave to Carlito 5 or 6 times.
It was awesome.
We couldn't get over that.
I bet he was doing every bit of 30 mile an hour.
Yeah,
like, he's fast. Like
Yeah.
And if you notice this week when he came down, he was in the same position, and Carlito was like, I'm going that direction. He's like, I'm not going towards him anymore. He's like, the last time I did this, he speared me damn near out of my boots.
I thought it was really funny too, outside of TV cameras, that Carlito's family posted and then he reposted it and on his thing of them announcing that his funeral was gonna be held this week and everyone could come and show. And I was like, this is so great. Yeah, they're just like, yeah, he's fucking dead. Carlito's dead.
So yeah, overall, I think you're pretty much right. I think that's pretty much how it would go if they're not going to keep the belt on Braun.
You know what? I don't watch AEW, but I do miss JR. Like Jim Ross, like his he would really have you buy into wrestling. Like he'd make you think it was real. And That spear deserved JR just being like, he broke him in half.
He
Oh
broke
my
him
god. Do you have no soul? I can't do a good impression. But
So what else do we have going on?
all right, the next match on the night, the Raw Women's Title, the Triple Threat: Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. I see Bianca winning and revealing herself as a heel who's been aligned with Naomi all along. I think this because I find her extreme lack of mentioning or talking to or about Jade seems to lean toward the fact that she may agree or be on Naomi's side. Either way, I feel she will turn heel and maybe even have an insane solo run.
Well, I kind of already told you how I felt about this match when we were talking about night one because of the night one match between Jade and Naomi. I think if that happens, if she does say, maybe she does come out there and cost Jade something, somehow or whatever, and makes that turn. I think that makes this, your scenario even more plausible. If that does not happen, I think it would be retarded not to put that belt back on Rhea Ripley. That's my personal opinion. I don't think
I think Rhea's the only one that's not gonna get it because honestly, it just seems like her whole angle in this is being the crybaby who threw herself into the match. I think if anything, I feel like with how over the fans are with her right now and how she's been doing in the promos about being all mad that she's overlooked, if Bianca doesn't turn heel and win, then the only other thing that makes sense for me is Io retaining.
Okay. Well, like I said, we're born to agree, we're born to disagree. You know what I mean? The same as.
Don't get me wrong, I love Rhea Ripley. I absolutely love Mommy. Mommy's always on top.
But I like I said, either Mommy's on top, or it's the heel turn by Bianca. That's what I see. I don't see.
You don't see Io retaining.
Retaining that title. But
even with the promo she cut on the Go Home Raw, they even let her use her home ton and everything. Like
she's I know this is gonna sound. Some people are gonna say culturist or whatever, or racist, or you're gonna throw words out.
Well, my first video on YouTube are already gonna get me canceled.
All right, let's go. And I really don't care. You know what I mean? How people feel, but I just don't think that she, with the fact that she cannot cut a decent promo in English, that they are a primarily English speaking based company. I don't think she's going to get over, 100%. I don't think
kind of like how they struggled with Shinsuke forever as well.
Yes, same kind of thing. And I'm not saying that she's not a great worker. I'm not saying anything bad about her. I just don't think that she's going to get over. Just the same way that Asuka didn't get over this, all the way that
they started having to do Shinsuke. They just started letting him do promos in his native tongue with subtitles because they were probably just so tired of people saying they couldn't understand him.
So I like I said, that's my piece, and like I said, I have no ill will towards the the Japanese people. I love Japan and I love Japanese people, but I just don't think that she's connecting with the American audience.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. I see where you're coming from, and I definitely agree. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a language barrier, there's a language barrier. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's nothing racist or culturist about that. That is a thing. And I feel like that does hinder her ability to really cut promos or really sell herself or even like.
I think it'll be a great match. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I do too. I definitely think that's going to be like a lot of people are voting that one as match of the night.
Night two. Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure if I would agree with match of the night, but I can guarantee you this: that out of all of the women wrestling, that is probably going to be the best women's wrestling match. So if you only wanted to watch one women's wrestling match, that's the one I would pick.
All right. Now we have one more to go. The main event of night 2. Well, what some people want to demean Punk's accomplishment and call it the actual main event because it's on night 2. But we have John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. Just like my thoughts on the Naomi and Jade situation, I believe that you don't waste a heel turn, let alone one this monumental in wrestling history. It has to mean something. I think if they don't give him a match on SmackDown, then this match will end up with Cena's hand being raised and Orton's music hitting, as well as he comes out, full voices in his head, fully in that place, punts both Cena and Cody, and has just lost it. Randy has been staring at that title subtly every time he's been on screen with Cody, and now that he's going back to that place, I think we will see a different side of him come out as he guns for that title. And we finally get another Cena Orton, which was my favorite feud as a child. So I have John Cena taking the match, and then Orton's music hitting.
All great plots, all great points. I agree and disagree. Now, let's see how this match is going to go. I believe that it will be John Cena. Obviously, we kind of discussed this with night one. I kind of gave away, night one, the night two, with how I felt about night one. I believe CM Punk will be the one who, comes out at the end and
starts the whole feud.
The whole feud with John Cena. I think it'll, instead of Randy Orton, I think it'll be CM Punk. I do see John Cena going over, as you said. I don't think you
getting that 17th championship.
Yeah, you get that 17th world championship. You get that. He's the WWE champion. He's the Rock's champion. I think it makes the Rock happy.
We still don't know if he sold his soul to the Rock or not. There's never been any confirmation on that. We haven't seen the Rock.
It's not, and I never even.
We don't even know if this is just like
dealt with that issue.
I even saw somebody with a point of view that maybe he was just beating up Cody because he said the F word in front of the kids. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't just another big face move. We don't know.
I highly doubt that, but I believe, and I'm not saying that he sold his soul to the Rock, but
I don't view that as the angle that we're going.
But what I do believe is I believe that the Rock will consider him as his champion. Like he considered Cody as his champion. Basically whoever is that holder of that title is his champion because he is on the board of directors. So therefore basically he is the the WWE. So therefore he that is his champion. I think that's where he's going with this. We talked about this. I said the CM Punk said some very, very bad things about John Cena and Dwayne, and he called him Dwayne, I believe, as well. He said, I don't have to walk. One of the things he says is, I don't have to walk around with a fake belt.
Yeah,
he says on my shoulder to make and
yeah. Travis has a fake
and I don't have
too.
to, and I don't have to tap my arm every time I come out and all this stuff. So I believe that that's going to set up a little something between that whole three-way.
Maybe we could see that Punk and Rock at SummerSlam. You never know.
So it very well could be. Like I said, it could go either way. But like I said, I believe that CM Punk is the one who finally dethrones John Cena and takes that away. The way, like I said, the build up from all of those years back. If you want to talk about long-term booking,
yeah,
I think
Triple H is known for.
I think that is exactly how you do this one.
All right. Well, I'd love to hear what you guys think. So go down to the comments. If you've made it this far through, there's only one thing we need you to do. Go down to the comments, leave us a whoop whoop, like the video if you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining us. Again, this is my friend, High and Mighty Joe. If you like his channel as well, Top Vloggers. He does a lot of vlogs around Vegas and everywhere that he travels. I'll leave his channel in the description as well. Thanks for joining us, guys. And we will be doing a vlog series at all the WrestleMania events that we will be going to. So stay tuned for that. He'll also have vlogs on his channel. And we're excited to take this journey and just do this whole channel with you guys. I'm excited to see where this goes. So yeah, thank you for joining us. Leave us that whoop whoop. Love, family. Stay safe.
We'll see you next time. All right. Well, we are back here at the house now, and what a fun and exciting time that was today. We had a great time. I know I had a great time. I hope Nathan had a great time. So, yes, fun times had by all. And it was nice enough to of Nathan to let us check out his studio. It was very nice. I wish one day that I would have a studio like that of my own. It would be very, very nice to have. That is for sure. Also, like I said, I want to thank Nathan for coming and picking me up. That is very nice of him. He definitely did not have to do that at all. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. You take it one step further and ring that notification bell. Lets me and YouTube know you care. And we'll see you in the next video. Until then, top vloggers!